John was a young man from a modest close-knit village in Nigeria. Growing up in the countryside, he always dreamed of escaping poverty and living a life of wealth and luxury. His parents were hardworking farmers, doing their best to provide for John and his siblings. But John knew that if he wanted to experience the big city life he often saw on TV, he would have to find his own way. After finishing high school, John moved to Lagos, Nigeria's largest city, to pursue a better future. Lagos was vibrant, with busy streets, tall buildings and endless opportunities, but it was also harsh to those who didn't have money. John worked as a mechanic during the day and as a security guard at night, but the major earnings were not enough to give him the lifestyle he envisioned. He longed to drive flashy cars, wear designer clothes, and live in one of those luxurious estates he passed by every day. One day, while browsing the internet at a cyber cafe, John stumbled across an ad from a fertility clinic offering generous payments for healthy sperm donors. The offer seemed too good to be true. The clinic promised a steady stream of income. For John, this was his golden opportunity. The idea of making money while staying anonymous appealed to him greatly. John visited the clinic, passed the medical test, and began making regular donations. The income started to roll in, and with it, John's life changed. He bought new clothes, rented an upscale apartment in the heart of Lagos, and started mingling with wealthier circles. He knew his source of income wasn't traditional, but it was easy money, and as long as no one knew, he didn't care. As the years passed, John continued donating sperm across multiple clinics, collecting more money than he could have ever imagined. With his newfound wealth, he became known in his neighborhood as the man who made it. However, John remained cautious. He avoided deep relationships, fearing that someone might pry into his life and uncover the secrets behind his success. Everything seemed to be going smoothly until he met Amaka. Amaka was a beautiful, smart woman in her late 20s, and they met at a friend's wedding in Abuja. She was a software engineer, and they hit it off immediately, sharing stories about their ambitions and love for life. Amaka was everything John had been searching for. She was kind, successful, and deeply rooted in Nigerian culture. She had grown up in Enugu, raised by a single mother. John and Amaka's relationship quickly blossomed. They spent weekends traveling together, attending family events, and planning their future. John had never felt this connected to someone before, and for the first time in years, he considered marriage and starting a family of his own. He had found peace with Amaka. However, one evening, during a casual conversation about her childhood, Amaka mentioned something that made John's heart skip a beat. She told him how she was conceived through artificial insemination, as her mother had struggled with infertility for years. She casually mentioned the clinic her mother had used in Lagos, the same clinic John had donated to multiple times. Panic set in. Could it be possible? Could Amaka be his biological child? John's mind raced, connecting the dots, the dates, the clinic. Everything pointed to the horrifying possibility that Amaka was one of his sperm donor children. John excused himself from dinner that night, overwhelmed with fear and guilt. He couldn't keep the fear bottled up. In secret, he obtained a DNA test, praying that his suspicions were wrong. But when the results came back, they confirmed his worst nightmare. Amaka was in fact his biological daughter. John was devastated. The love of his life, the woman he had dreamed of marrying, was his own child. He felt trapped, drowning in guilt and confusion. How could he tell Amaka? How could he reveal that their relationship was built on a terrible coincidence, the result of his secret life as a sperm donor. Unable to bear the truth, John decided to end the relationship abruptly. He told Amaka that he wasn't ready for commitment and that they needed to part ways. Amaka was heartbroken and confused, but John couldn't bring himself to explain the real reason. He left her life knowing that telling her the truth would destroy her and everything they had built together. John returned to Lagos, but the wealth and luxury that had once brought him joy now felt hollow. He could no longer escape the consequences of his actions. His secret life had finally caught up with him, leaving him alone and filled with regret. In the end, John realized that the pursuit of wealth at any cost had come with a heavy price, a price too high for him to bear. He had lost the one person who brought true meaning to his life, and the guilt of his choices would stay with him forever.